looking at the date today. It's January 10th, 2021. January 10th, which means it's been a month since December 10th, and December 10th was the day I checked into the hospital. I was in the emergency room a few days before. They gave me a paper that said a referral to a psychiatrist. Came back a few days later, ended up staying there for about 10 hours in the emergency room until I actually went crazy, and then they put me in the psych ward. And that's where I was for about a week, which felt like 10 years, and it's a much longer story, but I'm just so shocked that was a month ago, because on one hand it feels like literally 10 years ago, and on the other hand it was like yesterday. And I'm like, all the people I met there, those are connections unlike any connections I'll ever make for the rest of my life, because that hospital gave me a family. It gave me supporters. It gave me people who I could connect to no matter what their age or background was, or why they ended up there, or any of that. It didn't matter, because the fact was that we ended up there together. We ended up seeing each other in our most vulnerable states, and right now I'm still spending time with them, and they're so important to me. And everything I learned at the hospital was like really helpful, and it helped me get back on my feet. It helped me move out of my family's house. That was one of the bigger reasons I actually needed that, because my mental health was so bad. I needed a diagnosis, and I got one. I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder type 2. I've been kind of talking about it briefly, but not really talking about it directly, because I don't really know how to talk about it yet. And I hope there will be more videos where I know how to talk about it a little more. But mental health is super serious, and it was part of the reason I had to leave my family's house. And I didn't want it to happen that way. It happened in a very emergency way, and I want to tell the full story. In fact, I'm gonna write a book about my whole life. That will help me figure out all the details. But like right now, I'm like literally shaking just even talking about it. But I just can't believe it's been a whole month since I checked into the hospital. It's like space and time feels so weird right now. I have lived so much life in the past month. Like, in a month, I moved out of my family's house. I spent a week in the psych ward at the hospital. I spent a lot of time with friends. I moved in with my ex-partner and moved right back out. And so much shit, so much emotional healing. Oh my god, like every second day I'm having some kind of huge life realization or some kind of emotional experience, or then something happens that leads to that, some kind of trigger, and then I end up crying my eyes out and sharing all the personal trauma to whoever will listen that's happened to me and that I carry with me. And I guess I thought that if I made it past that worst point, which was the past month, I thought like it would be easier. Well, it is getting easier, but what I'm trying to say is that I thought I wouldn't have to carry the troubles of my past with me to my future. But that's not how life works. Even if it felt like I was dying and like I died and was reborn, it's actually how it felt, this whole experience. And I constantly feel like I'm going through that, or like I was going through that. And now I'm to the other side and just trying to recover, but it's just hard. Sorry, what I was trying to say is that I didn't think I'd have to carry my trauma with me, but I do. I have to carry all the shit that I've learned, negative, positive, all of it. I only want to carry the positive, but you gotta carry the negatives too, and actually carrying it feels heavy. My body and my mind feel so exhausted, and like there's a huge weight on them. And every time I go through one of those breakdowns or experiences or whatever, or every time I fuck up, it gets a little bit easier. But I really thought it would be easy. Like what I went through, I thought that would be enough to like give me a new blank slate so I could start my life fresh. But you gotta put in the work for you to actually get there, and it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take rest, so much rest, and so much emotional healing. lots of tears to come. It's not over. I want it to be. I want to just start my new life and be happy, but it's gonna take some time. I need time, and that's why I had to leave Windsor. It's why I had to leave my partners, because they wouldn't give me time. They wouldn't give me patience, and I'm having already so much trouble having it with myself. But I'm doing really good. I'm like handling everything really, really well, and I'm proud of myself, and my supporters are proud of me, and my supporters are there for me. So it's all gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. But like, don't ever think for a second that mental health isn't serious. That's something that I'm gonna be advocating for the rest of my life, because I have to fight my mental illness every single day. Like, I have to fight it. I'm in war all the time. And that's like what even treatment does. You know, when you get a treatment plan, you get meds, when you get all these things, you're trying to manage the illness, because it's not gonna go away. It's part of you, but it doesn't define you.